Welcome to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 with the Rude Man. We're in Washington, Baltimore, and I'm going to take a quick trip to LaGuardia, New York. And I flew over the area a little bit yesterday, and I thought, wow, I guess I didn't realize where New York sat. I mean, obviously I know where New York is, but I've never actually paid any attention to what kind of country it is. And again, things look different from the air. So I didn't realize there was that much water around New York. So I decided to make a trip there, but it's a little bit different. I tried it yesterday with live weather, and the weather was pretty bad. I had a tough time. I had to fly up above the clouds. There wasn't much to see. I couldn't see the ground when it was raining when I left. And it wasn't from Baltimore. I left from Chicago, O'Hare, and I had to fly over two of the Great Lakes to get to New York. And the weather was just not good. It was a lot of turbulence and I had a hard time landing. So today, what I did was I just put some clouds up. It's pretty much clear sky with a few clouds. I could go completely clear sky, but I'm going to try it this way and see what it looks like because this is strictly for sightseeing. The other thing that you need to be aware of is it's not realistic. It is a simulator, and I've set it for low altitude because I want to be able to see. I want to sightsee, even though it's a commercial jet. So that being said, I'm not going to fly at 35,000 feet. It's a shorter trip than it was from O'Hare in Chicago. And we're going to get started here. All right, first of all, let's get things heated up here. Turn our batteries on. All right, batteries are on. Hook up to some available. Now we can do this two ways. I can either just do it or I could go and request it. I'm still playing with this GSX. There was an update on it. I had trouble with it, but I'm going to try it with the updates and see if they've done any improvements for... Well, first of all, there it is. Jeez, couldn't get it to de-icing. We've got ice and snow this morning, just a dusting of it on the coast. But catering, refueling, boarding, jetways, operating additional services. You know what? I'm just going to get going. Let's go back in. Okay, so let's give ourselves some power. Turn on our GPS. Those three, give our crew some air. That's always good. And we'll put on strobe light. We'll put on the nav lights and the logo lights. And we'll put the seatbelt signs up. No smoking. And arm the emergency light system. Emergency exit lights. We'll arm them. And let's let it heat up. Right now, we've got 7 minutes for those GPSs to connect. So in that amount of time, we can get a lot done. Let's turn some brightness up on our instruments. Get brightness over here. These I don't like to make too bright. This one's not bad, but this one here, if you make it too bright, these numbers over here bleed and you can't see them. Maybe bleed isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. They get too bright and they just kind of, they're harder to see. Okay, so, and now that we've got that going, we can go into our pad, get it started up. Maybe. Find the right button there. A little bit of button on the top up there. Okay, here's our flight. Baltimore, Washington to LaGuardia, New York. We're going to import that. And let's see, let's start some fuel. We need to import that from our flight plan. It's instant. I'm going to put it to fast. We'll just get it done. And while that's coming on, let's get the plane boarded. I'm not doing this like I would normally do it to try to be more realistic. I'm mainly just doing it to get it done. Since the object of this is sightseeing, let's go ahead and get that started. All right, let's see. We can continue on with some lighting while we're waiting, and a little bit of a checklist. Make sure that the weather radar is off and the wind shear is off, that this is not armed. Okay, we got the TCAS is on standby. We've got our cockpit door is open and unlocked. Engines are ready to be started as soon as we get some power. Turn some lights on there. So we got these two here and that one there in the center. We've already turned those up. All right, we got our anti-skid is on. So I'm just double checking things. Landing gear's down, obviously. I'm sitting on the ground. And I can't enter the flight plan in yet because I need the GPS for that. So a little bit of a waiting game here. 105 out of 174. The fuel should be done, but it says 0.5 minutes. That it's been 5 minutes. I think that's probably done. $53.03, and it says we've got $53.03, I think so. I've never flown overseas with these. I think I can get from New York to, say, Great Britain. I'm just wondering, though, I've never used the center tanks. I always use the wing tanks, and I never fill them up. I'm never flying that far, so I'm just curious. So you got two in the left wing and two in the right wing. Then you got your center tank, which I've never used. I'm just curious. I'm gonna have to look that up, see how much fuel you'd need to get over there. All right, there's the passengers. They're in. That means we've got our payload, we got our weight, our center of gravity is set, so we're ready to input that as soon as we get our GPSs. We've got 2 minutes left to go. I'm going to set the initial...
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, on behalf of myself, your captain, the first officer, and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to receive final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
All right, got that announcement out of the way. I'm going to set the initial climb to 10,000, and we've got the flight directors are both on. That's good. I haven't set the barometer yet. I'm still waiting. We can check on that, I guess. All right, we've got air pressure is 1012. We got zero wind. That's good. Temperature is 12 degrees centigrade. A little bit of moisture, not too bad, 6%. On the other end, it's almost the same air pressure. They do have a little bit of wind. We'll have to be aware of that. Temperature's a little colder. Less humidity, though, so. All right, we got our GPSs up. We can enter our flight plan. Okay, so we're going to go to the ATSU, the menu, the init, and we're going to input from the flight plan off the computer. All right, and then go back there. We're going to put in a request for that information. Okay, that's all generated. We can go to our flight plan. We're leaving Baltimore, Washington. Our departure, according to our flight plan, we are going to be using runway 28 to depart. Right there. It appears that there is no SID and no trans that I need to put in, so we can just insert that. We do have a discrepancy, or I always say discrepancy. It's a discontinuity. We do have one there. I'll deal with that in a minute. Let's go to our arrival in New York, LaGuardia. And we are going to be arriving on runway 4. And it looks like we've got a choice. Let's see, what do we have here? Corey 4. Right there. All right. And it doesn't look like I've got a via. Okay, none there. But I do have a transition, I think. Let's see. No, it doesn't look like I do. Well, there's none on the flight plan. So I guess I'll just leave that. We'll just insert it the way it is. All right, let's look at this. I'm going to jump up here and give it a look. Before I do, let me pull my flight plan over so you can see it. There's the flight plan from Washington, Baltimore, over this touch of water here, over that little touch of water, and then straight up to New York. Pretty straightforward. Nothing too complicated, I don't think. But hell, what do I know? So let's look at this. Set this to flight plan. Put it out a little bit. All right, let's look at this thing. That's Washington, Baltimore that we're leaving. We do have that flight plan discrepancy that we need to get rid of. But I just want to keep looking here. Skippy, Corey. There's our arrival right there. Uh-oh, we've got an issue that we need to fix. And into LaGuardia. All right, let's fix this. First of all, get back up to the start of the plan. We'll fix this discontinuity. There's another one between Proud and Rahal. So let's clear that. That's the end of the plan. All right, let's double check that. Okay, from Washington, Baltimore, we take off. Eno, Skippy. Doesn't look like there's any brakes anymore. All right, looks okay. So that's ready. Now let's finish our work here. We need to go back and get our information from the payload. 60.5. Okay, in its second page, we need to put that, what did I say, 60.5? Well, I better double check. Yeah, 60.5 and 24.0. .0. Glad I double checked that. There we go. All right, our fuel block, which we'll get from the flight plan. That's going to be 53.0. All right. All right, let's go to the performance. We're going to do one flap at takeoff. We don't have any wind or anything. We should be fine, I guess. And then let's put our V1 and VR and V2 in. Okay, we've got fuel, we've got passengers. Let's I don't know if I need a pushback. I probably should do a pushback. If I didn't do the pushback, I'd have to fly right over the top of these things or run right over them. So I'll do a pushback. It says the tug is attached. Let's see, call or release tug. It says it's attached. So let's see if we can back up here. There we go. I'm gonna back up a little bit and then I'll go to the left a little. I could go just straight back. I sure could because I can then get out of here. All right, let's get back in and let's get fuel pumps on. Turn on the APU. Okay, looks like we've got some action down here. at those are going. Okay, that was the external power going off. I hope. And the APU took over. That was a little disconcerting. I should have started the APU before I started the pushback. Oh well. I think we're okay. All right. So we've got some bleed. Let's get this thing going. Wait for this to get up to 24. That's probably good enough. Let's stop. Put on a parking brake. Get rid of the tug. All right, we're up to 30. Everything's okay. Start the second engine. That engine is up and going. This one's starting. There's a first click. That's the first engine putting out power. First engine that's there. It'll pop up and say that it's ready, but I think it already did, and I missed it because I was looking outside. But this one, there's the second click, and this should say available here pretty quick. There it is. So both engines are running and available. We don't have any red warnings down here. We can hear power coming on from the jet engines, which means that we can probably go ahead and turn the bleed off and the APU off. Put the beacons on, wing lights.
Flight attendants, arm doors, and cross-check.
Lights up. These were retracted. They're off now. I will put them on. Those are the landing lights, but oh, heck with it. I'll just turn all the damn lights on. Okay, here we are. Now we're looking for, what was it, 28? Runway 28? Where would that be? I'm not that familiar with Washington. There we are right here. Is that a runway there? It is, isn't it? Okay, I'm lost. Where's my runway? Down here. Okay, that's runway 10. There's 28. Okay, so it's clear down at the end there. So we need to come down this way and make a corner. All right, I think I know where we're at. Parking brake is off. The throttle should be in idle, and it is.
Your seat back is upright, your key cable is good, and all your hands are fit away. If you have any questions about the safety features of this aircraft, please don't hesitate to ask. Smoking food, diesel, and time cigarettes is never allowed on any flight. Tampering with the family or destroying smoke detectors and access thresholds is a federal offense and could result in a fine. For your convenience, this aircraft has 3 restrooms, one in the front of the cabin and 2 in the back, and each is equipped with an changing table. While these buses may have a light for departure, if you use their assistance in rated buses, please remember to make sure you have a safe and comfortable flight. Thank you for your attention, and we hope you enjoyed this experience.
That in idle. So yeah, this is Baltimore. I was a little surprised to wake up to a little bit of dusting of snow where I live. We don't get much. And it wasn't much. It was basically just a dusting, and it's a little windy. It was cold. It got down to 26 last night. It's only supposed to get up to 37 today on the coast. It's supposed to be partly sunny, though. Generally, we don't get this cold unless it's clear skies. Being on the coast, it's almost never clear skies. Now, am I on the right track here? I think this is my runway. Yeah. Okay, I just need to go to the end. Flying JetBlue today. If I'm not mistaken, JetBlue is out of New York. Whoops, overturned. Whoa, speeding around. Okay, I'm overcorrecting here. Let's just stop it right here. Set our brakes and do our last check over here. Okay, autopilot's set for 10,000 altitude. We've got, this doesn't need to be on plan. Let's put this on arc. I can leave it at 40. We do have both the flight directors are on. All right, let's set the barometer, and it's set, no problem. Engines, we can actually turn that off. Let's turn our TCAS on to auto and on. We can
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
we can put our weather radar on and the wind shear on to automatic. We can lock our cockpit. The rudder's trim's set. Parking brakes are on. All right, I think everything's ready there. Make sure that lights are where they're supposed to be. All right, everything looks okay. And I think we're ready. All right, throttles. We'll put the throttles up to climb. Lock them in. Parking brake is off. But that master light came on because I wiggled the damn thing. It doesn't like you doing that. I wiggled the throttle. Coming up. Rotate. Up climb. Now it has me taking off in the wrong direction, so now I've got a warning right here. That's because I was messing with the throttle. So to fix that, I need to drop the nose a little bit. Let me get some altitude here. I'll put the landing gear up. All right, so let me drop the nose just a little bit there. Now I've got a toga. Now that's because of the auto thrust. Let me turn the auto thrust off and take the throttle and reset it to climb, and that should get rid of that warning. All right, now we need to get on our track here. Slowly climbing 5,000. Straighten out. All right, let's see if we can get the autopilot on. Nope, can't do it. Okay, it's it won't let me put it in because of the speed here. I'm just gonna continue climbing. We'll just fly it for a little bit until we can turn the autopilot on. I looked it up, and there's some of that stuff I was talking about, the speed and the toga warnings and stuff like that. But it doesn't really, it just says there is a problem with this hooking to the autopilot sometime. And then we kick the speed up a little bit and see if that make a difference. All right, I got the problem taken care of. We're in autopilot. The automatic thrust is on, and we're on our way. So I did look it up, and the problem that I have with the autopilot, it has to do with stall warnings. And if you notice that I'm almost up to 280 knots here, and I wasn't. I was clear down to 200 something. So there's something to do with the speed. Now the auto thrust wasn't keeping the speed up for some reason. But as soon as I got past that, if you notice, there were red bars on the side of the throttle here. And that means that that's a stall, I'm in stall territory. So I gave it a little bit of throttle and was able to turn the autopilot on, and then I put the auto thrust back on. I'm not entirely sure what the hell's going on with that, but, chalk it up to inexperienced pilot. But we're well on our way now. I guess I can go in and let people get up and go to the bathroom. All right, we got our first turn coming up at Eno, 28 nautical miles, and then we'll take a little jog to the left. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the view. So I got some clouds on. We can see down below. I could turn the clouds off if we really want to see everything, but I kind of like to have some clouds. It just looks more realistic. So we'll leave it alone for now. I mean, we can see what the country looks like underneath. I'm sure the weather isn't like this today in real life, but we got some sunshine up here. the Flying C. What do you suppose that is? A farming, a private runway. There's Dover Air Force Base. Is that what that said? Yeah. Right up here, Dover Air Force Base. We got Kenton. Must be a little town. There's the airstrip there. Delaware Air Park. There's Newburgh. What the hell is that? Smyrna? Scotty's Place. Beam me up, Scotty. All right, we got another body of water coming up here. When I flew from Chicago O'Hare, and I'm going to make one of those, I think. That was kind of a fun flight. You have to fly over two of the Great Lakes. Superior, I think it was the first one, and then the bottom part of Superior. And the bottom part of Lake Erie, we fly over from Chicago to get into New York. That was an interesting flight. I didn't do it today because that's over a 90-minute flight, just the flight itself. And I forgot to set the chrono on this flight. I wasn't using my checklist. I should. All right, there's the first turn from Eno to the next waypoint is Skippy, and that's 19 nautical miles from here. There's Newburgh. Look at that snaky water down there. Like I said, I didn't realize there was so much water in this part of the country. Townsend. I'm just pointing things out. I'm not familiar with Townsend, so I don't know what that means. Is that an airstrip? I don't think it's a town. It's got that funny looking, it's not quite a circle. It's more like a diamond in a circle, which I think is like airstrips. Usually when it's a town, it'll show like buildings in the icon. I don't see one right now. I know there's towns down there, but not everything has a waypoint marker on it, so. I'd have to look at a map, see what this is. This waterway here. It's too small to be one of the Great Lakes. Well, I tell you, the Great Lakes, they're called the Great Lakes for a reason. They are huge. They're ocean-sized lakes. I mean, there's lakes that have their own tidal system, you know what I mean? They can have storms that they have waves just like over any ocean. Wide Sky Air Pack. Yeah, that's what I say. I think that all these icons that you're seeing here are all little airstrips. At least that's what it seems like to me. Now there, you'll see Greenwich underneath us, and that icon looks like buildings, like cityscape buildings. That icon. So that's a little town down there. I think we're about a fourth of the way on our trip already. That's why I chose this route. It's pretty short, really. When I flew over New York the other day, it was at like 35,000 feet. Really couldn't see anything. Hopwell down there, that's got a little city icon on it. I'm telling you, there's little cities everywhere. In between what looks like some farmland. We're reaching Skippy, another waypoint right now, and we will be heading for Bessie, which is 12 nautical miles. Nice fluffy little clouds, just enough to make it look realistic, not enough to really bother your view if you're sightseeing like we are today. There's a little town called Elmer. There's a chain of restaurants in the Portland area called Elmer's. It's a breakfast place. They serve breakfast all day. They have other things, sandwiches for lunch and stuff like that. But the main reason we go there is a breakfast, and I get a Hungry Rancher breakfast. And I can't eat a lot of food anymore like I used to. But when it comes to Elmer's, I give it a good shot. I get this Hungry Rancher breakfast. It comes on a platter. You get 3 eggs, hash browns, a pancake. You get 2 link sausages, 2 big slices of bacon, and 2 slices of ham, and a glass of orange juice. I mean, it's a meal for a Hungry Rancher. And I try my best to get it all. It's so good. I try my best to get it all down, and I usually do. But I try to make sure I haven't eaten anything for a while. But yeah, I can't eat like that anymore. I used to eat like that a lot when I was younger, but. And it's one of the things that ruined life for me with the pandemic was the fact that you were kind of quarantined, if you will, for at least a year and a half. I stayed out for almost 2 years because of my health. I just didn't want to get out in public. I wasn't afraid of getting it, and I did get it. I did get the sick, and I survived. But the thing that bothered me the most was being stuck inside all that time and preparing meals and okay, so like, okay, it's lunch. What are we gonna do for lunch? I don't know. What sounds good? I don't know. It's not like we could, run out to a restaurant. Most of them were closed for a period of time. But it got to the point where, and it's still there now, we will say, what are we going to do for dinner tonight? I don't know. What should we make? I don't know. What did we make last night? Well, I don't want that again. How about this? Well, we'd had that just a few days ago. We're making meals from what we have stocked in the pantry. And it gets to the point where nothing sounds good anymore. And it kind of ruined it. One of the things I always look forward to was eating. I like to eat. I'm not necessarily a big eater, but that doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. And I've lost the joy because of the pandemic. I've lost the joy of looking forward to eating. And now it's just a biological. To live, I have to eat and drink. And nothing sounds good anymore. I can't make decisions. The wife and I will go back and forth. Well, I don't know. What should we make? Well, we made that last week. Let's do something. And we're always constantly looking for new recipes. But that means you've got to go out and shop for the stuff. And I don't know. It's got to the point where, again, eating is just a biological thing. It's not fun anymore. I don't seem to enjoy it like I did. All right, let's see. We are right at coming up to Davies. So that puts us about halfway, maybe a little further than halfway. Yeah, we're a little bit further than half. No, looking at the map, we're just about halfway there. Just about the halfway point. So we got a whole bunch of little waypoints here. We're coming up to Davies, 2.5 miles. Take a little bit of a slight turn to the right. And then we're coming up on Holly, and then Brand, and then Corey. And if you remember, Corey was the point where we put our looking to come down marker. After that, we've got a couple of other little ones. Here we're going a little bit of a right turn. Let's go in the cockpit, see how we're doing. All right, things are still looking pretty good. As I said at the start of this trip, I'm staying way too low for a jumbo jet. I should be up at least 30,000, 35,000, minimum of 18,000. But I wanted to do some sightseeing. That's why I'm down to 10,000. I actually have the cruise altitude at 18, but I didn't get up to 18. I just left it at 10. And in actuality, we've got Holly coming up. And at Holly, I'm supposed to be down to like 13,000. I've got now Brand coming up. It's 5.2 miles. I'm supposed to be down to 11. And then by Corey, I'm supposed to be down to 10. So I'm already there. Okay, we're reaching Brand. Way marker in 1 mile. All right, there's Brand. We've got 5 miles to Corey. There's McGuire Field. A joint base. What does that mean? A joint base. Is that not just Air Force? It must be like Air Force, Marines, Air Force, Army, McGuire Base. I don't know. Just making that up. Haven't got a clue. All right, let's get down. Okay, I'm going to come down to 5,000 feet. Let's start checking here. I should have probably started coming down a little sooner. Arm the speed brakes. Flaps are where they need to be for now. Let's make sure we've got some auto brakes on. Skid is already on. Okay, we're down to 8. One mile to Minx. We got a very short time. It wants me down to 1800, so I might just come on down. Yeah, I want to get down before too long, because as you descend, you pick up speed, and I don't want to be coming in too fast. Now I can control the speed, but it's better if I don't have to. Being somehow I'm not that good a pilot. You see all this water? We're coming into New York. I didn't realize there was this much water around. Coming right into a cloud. All right, there's the airport. Right there. We're pretty close. Like I said, I should have probably came down a little faster, or a little ways back, a little sooner. I guess that's the proper term. Downtown Manhattan heliport. Okay, need to try to start slowing down a little bit. Let me... Is that a bridge? Wow, that's cool looking. All right, I'm gonna drop the landing gear. That should help a little bit.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
2,500.
Picked up the glide slope. We haven't locked it in yet. Okay, got the glide slope. That's bringing us down. Need to bring the speed down just a little bit. Put a flap down.
$1,000.
All right, heading, look, 200 miles an hour. Hush up. All right, let's, I'm gonna take it off autopilot. Whoops. Just a tiny little bounce there. Wasn't perfect. But I'm happy. All right, let's go see if we can find a parking spot. Oh, I thought I could. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I went too far. I missed my turn. I thought there was another turn coming up. That's my bad. This is my first time coming into LaGuardia. I came in JFK last time, and that was my first time to New York. So I've only been here twice, not enough to get any experience. But I thought there was another little road that came off, but it was this one here, I guess. All right, let's see if we can find a place to park. Get across this runway real quick. Now, these airports are kind of weird. Most of these jetways that say that they're large, when you pull into them, it says that it's too small for your plane. So half the time, I don't even know where in the hell to go. So I'm just going to kind of pull in here in an empty spot. We'll just park it. Know what I mean? All right, let's go in. Let's go in here. Make sure we're in idle. And let's see here. Start shutting things down. Don't need the radar anymore. Let's turn this to standby. And standby there. Engines are still running. That's fine. Let's go up here and we'll start our APU back up. Let's start shutting some lights down. Leave our beacon on for now. Turn the wing lights off. Nav lights can stay on. I guess that doesn't matter. Let's put some APU power on. Once that gets running, we'll let that run for a minute. Turn our GPS off, I guess. Don't need it. I don't think I've got external power available for me because I didn't pull into a spot. And so we'll just wait. Okay, looks like the APU's running. So that means that I can shut the engines down. Wait till that one comes down. There. Get that one down. All right, engines are down. We're running on APU. Let's see, anything else I need to do here? I think we're okay. I already turned our GPSs off. We can turn this junk off. both of those. And let's see, anything else? APU's running, engines are off. We can turn the fuel pumps off. Turn the batteries on. And we could now prepare for, a return trip if we wanted to. We've got our own power running APU. So I could prepare for another trip, but at this point, I'm not going to do that. So I can actually just kind of shut everything down. I'm going to turn that off and turn these off. Call it a day. We're dark and cold. So here we are, LaGuardia. Hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed the trip. I hope I didn't scare you too bad with that landing. I'm still picking stuff up, slow but sure. You'll get to where you just do it automatically. I still have to think quite a bit about what I need to do, what's coming up, and in that case, I did get a little nervous at the end, and I touched down and then hopped just a tiny little bit, not as bad as normal. I just hopped just a little bit there. So again, you have to pull the nose up. And I pulled it a little bit too high, and that's why I hopped. But like I say, it's just experience. Just practice, practice, practice. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta for now.